Hey everyone, this is lesson 9.4. Today we're going to be talking about common fractions and calculating equivalent fractions. So there's there's a word there, equivalent. Equivalent has equal in it, right? You can see that right there. So equal is the same. So, like if you had 25 cents and an equivalent amount to 25 cents would be 2 dimes and 1 nickel, right? Those are equivalent. So we're talking about equivalent fractions. And there's a way to do this, and we're going to start talking about it. If you take a look at this, we're thinking about 5/8 and 7/8. 5/8 and 7/8. 5/8. I have a mouse now. It takes a lot of concentration though. And 7/8. Uh-oh. 7/8. Looking at those, this is 8. Which one do you think is greater? You probably think, well, 7/8, because I have 7 out of the 8. And if you thought that, you're absolutely correct. And that's kind of easy because we can look at the numerators. The denominators are the same, so we know that we're comparing 8s. So that's not super tough on us to figure out, and it's something we went over a week ago or so. But it can get a little bit confusing when we're talking about fractions that have different denominators. So if I had like, for example, if I had something like 2/6, 2/6 compared to, I don't know, 4. I wonder if I can write over here. I think I can. 4/12. Nope, I can't. Never mind. 2/6 compared to 4/12. That's a little more difficult, isn't it? Because we've got different denominators. And so if we look at it here, we've taken the whole piece, which is right here. And we also have a whole piece here. So the big difference is that this whole's been divided into how many pieces? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 pieces. This one has been divided into 12 pieces. So if I were to take, I'm able to see, 2/6 here. Here's 1, 2, 2/6 compared to 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, what do we notice about those two? They are equal, aren't they? And I could actually check that out by doing this. I could put 2/6 here, and I could put 4/12 here. And I could think about, okay, what would I need to multiply this fraction by in order to get to make 6 into 12? I'm not going to worry about the numerator right now, but what would I need to multiply this fraction by to get 12? To get to 12s. And you're probably thinking, oh, that's easy, 2, right? I'd multiply by 2. So if I multiply the top and bottom, in this case, 2 times 2 is 4. 6 times 2 is 12. It's 4/12, which is equivalent or equal to one another, aren't they? So if I looked at a different one here, this one is still, we're talking about 12s and 6s. If I said, I don't know, let's say I said 4/6 compared to 5/12. 5/12. Well, you look at that and you're like, you might use some reasoning even before we have to do any more thinking. You might be like, oh, well, 4/12, that's over half, and 5/12 is not over half because 6/12 is half. So therefore, 4/12 is greater. But let's say you didn't have that thinking. So there's 4/6, and this is 5/12. So we have, we're going to take this 4/6, we're going to put it here, and we're going to put twelfths here. I'm not going to worry about the denominator or numerator here, and just say, what would I need to multiply this by to get to 12? The denominator, what would I need to multiply the denominator by to get to 12? And we could say 2, right? And whatever you do to the top, you have to, or to bottom, you have to do the top, or whatever you do to the top, you have to do the bottom in fractions. So 4 times 2 is 8, and 6 times 2 is 12. So 4/6 is equal to 8 twelves. 4/6 is equivalent to 8 twelves. Now we can go back to our original problem here. Which one is greater, 4/6 or 5 twelves? Well, obviously, when we move it over into twelves, when we convert it to twelves, we're able to see that 4/6 is equivalent to 8 twelves. So 8 twelves is greater. 8 twelves is greater than 5 twelves, because now we have this common denominator, and it's easy to compare those fractions. So that's what we're going to be attempting to do today. Is we're going to be trying to work our way through these problems that are looking for equivalent fractions. What I'm trying to do is convert over here. Let's see if this moves me to the step up. I'm going to just take a second. I might be able to do this all in one video, which would be better than what I did last time. Just give me a second to see if I can find it. So I'm in Stepping Stones. I go to Start, 4th grade, Module 9, Lesson, Steps. Boy, lots of clicking. Slides, Step-in Discussion. Oh no, slides, sorry. Let's take a look at our slides. I think I just did the Step-in Discussion, or the help thing there. So 5/8 compared to 7/8. Sorry, I'm pausing because I'm trying to think if this is showing exactly what I just did. Oh, brother. No, it doesn't. Okay, so 5/8 compared to 7/8. You can see that 7/8 is greater. Why? Because these have a common denominator. This numerator is greater than this. You have more 8s on this side, so therefore 7/8 is greater. Looking at this piece, what is the fraction here? If you said 4/5, you're correct. And on this one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 7 out of 10. So the question is, okay, which one really covers more? Which one's greater? It's easy to see using these fraction bars that this is greater. But if we could take 4/5 and we wanted to convert it to tenths. So we could go 4/5, and you have to use your multiplication. What times 5 gives us 10? If you said 2, you're correct. So we're going to multiply the top and bottom. Does it do it here? Yeah, we're going to do the top and bottom here and say, what do we need to multiply the 5 to get to 10? We're going to multiply it by 2. So we've got 4 times 2 is 8. 5 times 2 is 10. 8 tenths. So 4/5 is equivalent to 8 tenths. Now it's easy to I could do a 2 and a 2, right? And it's easy to figure out then which one is greater. If this is equal to 8 tenths, 8 tenths now has a common numerator and denominator, so therefore they're equal. Okay, so that's part 1 of the lesson today. I'm going to be going to part 2 in a second. Hang on, guys.